Hi everybody, welcome to White City Place Connect, where we're offering occupiers of White City Place a live platform from which to learn and engage from the comfort and safety of your own homes. Wednesday certainly rolls around quickly. I'm glad you're here. So let's come and start down on our backs. Just a yoga mat, we won't be needing any other props today. And start with your feet flat on the floor, knees pointing up towards the ceiling and the arms just down by your sides, leaving yourself enough space between the upper arms and the rib cage to breathe freely. And just snuggle your back body down into the earth, spreading the shoulder blades, snuggling the feet into the softness of your mat. If it's comfortable, lightly closing your eyes and softening again. As you drop your mind down into your body, start to become aware of the natural breath. And allow the breath, or your focus on the breath, to take you inwards and downwards. And as we practice this lunchtime, keep a gentle awareness of the breath at all times, at the underscore of your practice. There may be many things that will distract you, both internal sensations, maybe some of the things that I say, or the positions that we get our body into, some of my instructions. But behind all of that, let's make this a breathing practice, a breathing, moving practice. I'm going to start to work a little bit just to mobilize the spine. So a little bit of back hair this morning. So have a sense as you lie here, the natural S shape to your spine. The parts of your body that are touching the earth, and the parts of your body that are slightly raised away from the earth. And you might also have a sense as if you were lying in a soft ground, maybe soft grass or a beach, lying in the sand. Notice which parts of your body may be sinking a little bit more and which parts of your body may be a little lighter. So you might notice that one side of the pelvis is a little heavier, creates more of an indentation than the right side, or vice versa. You may find that one shoulder blade feels heavier than the other, one arm, one foot. So imagining what your imprint would look like, where there would be deeper dips. And this is just information. It's nothing that we're trying to do here. Our bodies are all a little bit off being symmetrical. That's really normal. And then starting to move a little bit now, roll your pubis forward and down. So the tailbone drops. There's a little bit more weight into the tailbone now, and the lower back arches. And as you drop the lower back to the floor, just allow the tailbone to curl up. So just breathing naturally, not particularly one breath, one movement. Begin with the pelvis by rotating the pubis forward, tailbone drops down, lower back arches a little bit. Whole spine is influenced by this movement. And then the other way. And really here, less is more. So it doesn't have to be a huge movement, just perhaps a continuous smooth movement that helps to mobilize and give you a greater sense of the mobility in the spine, where it may feel a little fused and stuck or where it feels quite loose. And as you begin with the pelvis, notice how the movement waves up the spine, how the head and the neck become involved quite naturally. So maybe as you roll your pubis forward and down, you'll notice the chest puffs up, the chin drops towards the throat, and then the other way, there's a slight hollowing into the front of the pelvis. And then settle yourself somewhere into neutral here. Draw your right knee towards your chest and interlace the hands over the front of the right knee. We do that same movement, so rolling the pubis forward, lower back arches slightly, maybe chest puffs, chin goes to throat, and then the other way as the lower back flattens and the tailbone curls up. And you're just allowing your leg to respond to this. So your leg will move as a result of this tipping in the pelvis. Now we're going to do something a little different here and gently hold the right knee fixed and continue that same movement with the pelvis. But this time, just keeping the knee lightly fixed where it is. Might be a smaller tilt and wave to the spine. And having experimented with that a little, settle into neutral and stretch your right leg up towards the ceiling. Bring the arms down by your side. Flex your foot. And press upwards through three corners, so the big toe joint, the little toe joint, center of the heel, spread the toes, relax the shoulders. The knee can be bent at this point, doesn't have to be straight. Start to externally and internally rotate. Right from the root of the thigh, almost like you're screwing the leg bone down into the socket. Finish with an external rotation. Cross the right ankle over onto the top of the left thigh. Make sure you clear the foot so you can flex it fully. And then pick the left foot off the floor, flexing the foot as if it was standing on the wall in front of you. Now you could hold this shape without the arms. Keep the left knee in line with the left cheek. Or you could maybe take a hold of the outside of the left heel and the right hand onto the front of the knee, drawing the ankle towards you and pressing the right knee away, keeping your pelvic bones level. So there's a little dance here between the opening of the hip and not allowing that left hip to hoik up too much so as to shorten the side of the waist. Take the left foot to the floor. Open your arms into a T shape. Keep this shape of right foot over the knee, over the thigh, and just angle the right knee in line with the sternum. Start to drop your hips over to the left. So you may arrive with the right ankle underneath the left knee. If this is pulling across your sacrum, then maybe just unwind the legs and place one knee on top of the other. Spread the shoulder blades. Heart and navel spiraling in opposition to the knees. And then rolling yourself onto your back. Cross the right thigh over so there's no gap. Pick up the feet and take a hold of whichever knee you can grab a hold of. Maybe both knees, softening in the right hip flexor. And unwind the legs and simply place the feet back to the floor. Draw your left knee towards your chest, interlace the hands over the front of the knee, and start that rotation. So rolling the pelvis forward, tailbone comes to the floor, lower back arches, and then softening the lower back, tailbone curls up. And just feeling, observing, and noticing how the leg moves with the pelvis. So we're allowing the leg to move. And then holding the knee in place, continue with that rotation. And mobilizing the lower part of your spine and all the way through the spine, if you notice, but keeping the knee fixed this time. And make maybe less movement. Okay, come to neutral, stretch the left leg up towards the ceiling. 3 corners of the foot today, big toe joint, middle toe joint, center of the heel, presses straight up as the thigh bone drops down. External and internal rotation, right from the root of the thigh. Finish with an external rotation, cross the ankle over. Pick up the right foot, so the right foot is as if it's standing on the wall in front of you. Arms could stay down. Or you could take the right hand around the outside of the right heel, left knee pressing the knee away, and just feeling if your hips have rotated here. So keeping the pelvic bones level as best you can. Place the right foot back to the floor, arms out to the sides. Angle the left knee in line with the sternum without moving the foot and drop your knees over to the right. Maybe the left ankle arrives underneath the right knee. If it feels it's pulling too much, it's quite a strong twist. Separate the legs and just stack the knees lightly. Okay, rolling onto your back. Cross the left thigh over so there's no gap. Pick up the feet. Hold on to whichever knee you can catch a hold of. And softening in the top of your left thigh. Unwind the legs. Hug the knees towards you. Rock yourself back. And rock yourself up to seated. And we'll just turn the shins around here and come onto the hands and the knees. Lovely. Let's take the hands another hand forward from the shoulders. And as you exhale, lift and round your spine into your cat. Keep rounding, keep exhaling as you hinge back towards the heels. It's a long exhalation. As you inhale, bend the elbows, brush the chest against the floor and come into your cow pose. Exhale, lift and round. Start to hinge back with a rounded spine. Inhale, bend the elbows, lift the chest, broaden your sit bones. Exhale, lift and round the spine, hinging back with a rounded spine. And inhale, lift chest, broaden sit bones. You reverse this. Exhale here. Inhale, come back. Exhale, round, come up. Inhale, lift the chest board and the sit bones start to hinge back. Exhale, lift and round. One more time. Inhaling. Exhaling. Tap your toes. Inhale. Come into your first downward facing dog. So feet are hip distance apart, the hands a little bit wider than the shoulders. Index fingers parallel to one another, so you may notice the fingers turning out slightly. Raise both heels as you inhale. Exhale, bend your right knee and sink your left. So one breath, one movement now. Inhale, raise both heels. Exhale, bend your right, left knee, sink your right heel. One more time. Inhale. Exhaling. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, raise both heels. Bend the knees about a third of the way. Tilt your pelvis a little bit more, so that same action of rolling the pelvis through the thighs. Lift your sit bones. Pressing the belly a little bit more towards the thighs, and then walking your hands back towards your feet. And just allowing the heels to come to the earth here. Bend your knees as much as you need to at least have the fingertips on the floor. Let your head go. Lift the right side of the rib cage up and over the thigh and release it down. Left side of the rib cage, walk it over the left thigh and release down. Lengthen your heart as if you were to hook the rib cage over your knees and then soften. Good. And looking forward along the mat, walk your hands back again into your downward facing dog. And just notice what's happening to your jaw here. Are you tensing in the hinges of your jaw? Is your lower jaw falling forward, or are you pulling it back? That will have an effect on the positioning of your head, the carriage of your head, the muscles in the neck and the trapezius muscles. Again, just an observation. Float your right leg up behind you as you inhale. Exhale, bend the knee through, look forward and step the foot in between the hands. Come right up onto the tips of the fingers and extend the heart, and then soften your back knee. Come back as you exhale, lift the front toes. Inhale, place the foot to the floor, extend the back leg, extend the heart. Exhale, bend the back knee, rock back onto the heel. Inhale, foot to the floor, extend the leg. Exhale, bend the back knee, lift the front toes. Take it back onto the foot and extend the back leg. Lovely. Take the right hand onto the front of the foot. Back heel comes in and down, and left hand is going to come onto the hip. Begin to straighten the right leg a little bit, and then bend the knee again. So we're going to straighten on the exhale, lengthening inner groin to inner knee, and inhale, rebend. One more time, exhale, inner thigh to inner knee, inhale, bend. Take the left hand to the floor, swivel up the back heel, raise your right arm up into a counter twist, and then take the hand to the floor and step back into a high plank. Lower your knees, flatten your feet, lengthen your tailbone, but without tucking it under. Shoulders come forward at the wrists, bend the elbows in and hover, and then slide the legs away. Baby Cobra, as you pull your hands back, lengthen your heart into space, and then come all the way back up. Tuck toes, downward facing dog. Softening your elbows wide. Couple of breaths here. Notice if your head is falling below the length of your spine. So possibly if you're looking at your toes, the head maybe drops a little bit too far. Or you may be lifting your face up and holding the head. And again, what's happening to the jaw? Float your left leg up behind you as you inhale. Exhale, look forward, step the foot in between the hands. Come up onto the tips of the fingers, extend your heart. Exhale, bend the back knee, rock back onto the heel. Inhale onto the left foot, extend the back leg. Exhale, back knee bends, rock onto the heel. Inhale, take it forward. One more time, back knee bends. Pivot on the heel. And coming back. Take the left hand onto the front of the foot. Back heel comes in and down. I'm just going to turn the other way so I'm not have my back to you. Right hand comes onto the hip. Begin to straighten your front leg just a little bit if necessary. Lengthening from inner thigh to inner knee. And then rebend as you inhale. Exhale, extending from inner groin to inner knee. Inhale, release. One more time. Exhaling. Inhaling. Take the right hand to the floor. Swivel up your back heel. Left arm rises into your counter twist. Hand comes to the floor. Step back into a high plank. Lower your knees, flatten your feet, bring the shoulders forward of the wrists, pull the elbows in as you drop, sliding the legs and feet away. Baby Cobra, tuck toes, downward facing. Fabulous. Walk your feet forward towards the backs of your wrists. Come all the way up to standing as you inhale. Squeeze the arms out and up. And as you exhale, drop your mind down into your body as your thumbs come to your heart space. Take an inhale. Exhale, release the arms down. Big wide breath as you breathe up. Fly forward and touch the earth. Soften the knees. Lift and lengthen your heart. Step back with your left toes into your left. We're going to lower the back knee down softly, palms together, coming into Untitled. Maybe you're going to look up towards the thumbs, hands slightly forward from the face so that you can keep the back of the neck long, the head held, shoulder blades sliding down the back. Sweep the right arm down by your side and just look forward, maybe touch the back thigh. This is the exhale. Inhale, palms together, maybe look up. Exhale, left arm, look forward. Inhale, maybe look up, palms together. Exhale, thumbs to the heart, twist towards the right knee and come forward, but we're hovering here, so my left elbow isn't touching my leg. It's reaching towards the front big toe. And maybe I'll turn my gaze towards the side wall. Making one diagonal line with the forearms. Good. Reaching forward with your prayer, roll the pelvis through the legs once again. Start to lift the tailbone. This might be enough as you lay over the thigh, or you could pivot on the heel, lifting the front toes. Come back onto the foot as you reach your arms up, inhale. Exhale, thumbs to heart, hands to the earth. Lift your back knee. Step back into a downward facing dog. Coming forward into plank. Lowering the knees, lengthening the toes. Lengthen your tailbone, lower belly, toes. Shoulders forward, half chaturanga. Come down onto the floor. Lift and lengthen. Back into a downward facing dog. Fantastic. Place the web between your right big toe and second toe. either side of the left Achilles tendon. So that foot is like a little hand, lengthening the heel away, lengthening to the inner and outer edge of the foot, lifting your left sit bone. Floating your leg up behind you. Right leg, step the right foot in between the hands. Bring the ball of your left foot forward, so both knees are bent, left heel is high, and then from your navel, come all the way up to standing as you pour the weight into the right leg, raising up your left knee. Crossing the ankle over, hands into prayer as you start to come down, either making a shelf for your elbows, one on the ankle, one on the knee, or you could do that same action that we did on our backs. Right hand underneath the heel, left knee just being gently pressed by the left hand. And again, notice if your hips are rolling here. So we want to try and keep that left hip picked up a little bit. Lift up enough to step the left foot to the floor and come into Utkatasana. Dive towards the earth as you exhale. Inhale, lift and lengthen your heart. Exhale, step back with your right toes and lower the back knee to the floor gently. Bring the palms together. Anjali-asana. Maybe looking up towards the thumb. Draw the shoulder heads down. Look forward as you sweep the left arm down. Exhale. Inhale, palm on palm, look up. Exhale, look down. Look still straight ahead. Inhale, look up. Exhale, thumbs to the heart. Twist towards the bent knee and angle your body forward. So you're free floating here. Squeeze the inner thighs towards one another, as if you were holding a pane of glass between your legs. Reach your palms forward and lift your tailbone. So you may stay forward in this lunge or take it into more of a hamstring stretch as you pivot on the heel, lift the toes. You might even want to take the hands down onto the floor with more support. Coming back onto the foot, lift up the chest, thumbs to the heart and to the floor, and step back into a downward facing dog. Come forward into plank. If you'd like a full chaturanga up dog, that's your practice. Go ahead. You can stay with me with a half variation. Just coming down onto the earth. Baby Cobra. Push back onto hands and knees. Tuck toes. Downward facing dog. Float your first of all, place the web between your left big toe and second toe, either side of the right Achilles tendon, just above the heel. And being quite dexterous with that foot, stretch the heel away from the toes. Lift your right sit bone. Float the leg up, the left leg up. Step the foot forward in between the hands. Come onto the tips of the fingers. Bring the ball of your right foot close to your left. Engage your core and float the knee up. Right knee rises. Cross the ankle over. Take the hands into prayer. And start to hinge. Making a little shelf for your elbows or catching a hold of the heel. Left hand onto right heel, right hand gently pressing down on the knee at the same time, noticing if you're collapsing the right side of your pelvis. You can check that with your hand and maybe pick up that right side a little bit more. Great, as you place the right foot down, reach forward into Utkatasana, send the groins back and then dive towards the earth. Let your head go, lift and lengthen your heart as you inhale. Exhale, step back with your left toes into your lunge. Bring the palms together, root to the feet as you come up into a high lunge. That knee stays off the floor, maybe looking up here. Exhale, right arm sweeps down, look forward. Inhale, palm on palm. Left arm. Palm on palm. Bring the thumbs to the heart. Start to twist towards the right. Again, maybe free floating here, so my elbow isn't touching my leg. I'm just avoiding that leverage. Having a sense of which muscles are engaging for me to hold this pose without elbow on knee. And then reaching the arms forward. Coming all the way up. And opening out into a warrior two. As I straighten up, bring the hands to prayer. Spin the feet towards the left and open up the arms from the heart. Coming back, toes in, hands into prayer. Toes turn out, breaking the arms out along the horizon. Coming back, toes in, feet are parallel, hands into prayer. Put the thumbs underneath the sternum. Firm the thigh muscles around the bones and start to come forward. Backs of the knees are soft. Make sure the toes aren't gripping. See if you can find that flat back. And then notice if you might be dipping. If you're quite flexible in the lower back. Or if you need a little bit more extension to the inner seam of the spine. Just coming halfway here. All the way back up. Keep the hands where they are this time. Spin the feet towards the right. Bend your right knee as it tracks towards the little toe. And hinge outwards here. So it's a Parshakanasana, but maybe again you're free floating. The elbow isn't quite touching the knee. Curl the right sit bone underneath you. Imagine you're leaning into an imaginary hand at the back of your heart space. And then from here, break out the arms. Right fingertips to the floor, left arm rises. And taking the hands either side of the front foot, swivel. Step back into a high plank. Take a vinyasa of your choice, so maybe chaturanga up dog or knees, half chaturanga. Baby Cobra, back into a downward facing dog. Float your right leg up behind you as you inhale. Exhale, take the web of the big toe, second toe over the Achilles tendon, come forward into plank. Inhale, lift back up, raise your right leg, and step the foot forward in between the hands. Come onto the tips of the fingers, bring the ball of your left foot forward, lifting the heel. And then engage your core as the knee floats up, reaching the arms up. Cross the ankle over. This time perhaps the right hand comes onto the sacrum. You're going to twist and take the left forearm or wrist into the sole of the foot. You can twist against that. I'll just turn forward so that you can see that. If you decide to take this variation, you may just be with the first variation. A little twist here. Forearm or wrist inside the sole of the foot. Again, notice if the hip is dropping. It's quite a tricky little balance. And then rising up this time with the left knee and the arms. And taking the foot to the floor, releasing the arms down. Take a big wide breath. Fly forward and touch the earth, soften the knees. Lift and lengthen your heart. Step back with the right toes into your lunge. Back heel stays off the floor. Bring the palms together as you come all the way up. Left arm sweeps down. Look up. And then palms together. Inhale, right arm, look up. Exhale, palms together. Coming forward, anchor to the ball of your back foot as you twist. Let your right arm hover. Reach the heart towards the tips of your fingers. Couple more breaths here as you draw your left hip back in space. And then laying over your thigh, reach your palms forward like an arrow. Coming all the way up and opening out into your warrior two. Take a moment to find your place here. Turn the toes in, hands to the heart in prayer. Toes turn towards the right, crack open the arms along the horizon. Coming back, swiveling in the toes, taking it out. Coming back, hands to prayer, both feet are parallel, hook the thumbs underneath the sternum, firm the thigh muscles around the bones as you come forward. Invite the weight into the outer edges of the feet, but keep the big toe joints grounded. And have a sense of spreading the back body, softening the back body, bringing a bit more tone to the front body. Open the arms into an aeroplane position here. And then allow yourself to fold further. Maybe the first two fingers come inside each big toe. Yogi toe lock. Or just take the fingers onto the floor by your face or underneath your shoulders if you need to. Let your spine release. Let the shoulders hang forward around the earlobe. So just let gravity get the better of those joints for a moment. And then maybe pressing the knuckles into the earth. Lift the heart and slide the shoulder blades up the back, giving yourself a little bit more space around the neck. Release the fingers, maybe one at a time. Thumbs come back underneath the heart. You're coming up with a flat back. Turning your toes to the left. So it's a warrior two starts with your feet. Bend your knee, tracking over the little toe. And then start to come over here. Elbow is free floating. Curl the left sit bone underneath you. Holding it just for a few more breaths before opening the arms. Left fingertips come to the floor, right arm rises. And taking the hands to the floor, either side of the left foot, step back into a high plank. Chaturanga or knees. Half chaturanga, up dog or cobra, and then back, downward facing dog. Lovely. Floating the left leg up behind you, inhale, drop forward into plank. Web of the big toe and second toe, just come over the heel there, lift your hips, left leg floats up. And then step the foot in between the hands. Glide the ball of your right foot forward so the heel is off the earth. Engage your core, float your arms, float your right knee up. Cross the ankle over. Good, and you can either come back to this first variation, hands into prayer, or left hand comes onto the sacrum. The right forearm crosses into the arch of that lifted foot. Again, I'll show you this way. So there may be a little twist here. And you can look down, against the rotation of the heart. You can start to turn your gaze towards the side and notice how when you change the direction of your gaze, it affects your balance. Rise up. Place the foot to the floor. Oops, my balance is off. Release the arms down. Take a big inhale. Exhale, fly forward and touch the earth. Lift and lengthen your heart. Step back with your left toes. Float your right leg up behind you. Bring the heel to the sit bone and open the knee up towards the ceiling. It's like a reverse pigeon here. Roll your right shoulder blade down. Weight as even as it can be through both arms, both hands. And then bring the knee down past the navel and step the foot closer towards the right thumb, slightly off center. Back heel comes in and down. Bring the thumbs underneath the heart. Just supporting the breastbone, shoulder blades down the back. And come up a little higher, and a little higher still, you're in your warrior one. Twist again and come forward, still free floating. Pull your right hip back. So my elbow is inside the knee. Maybe here, turn my right hand to the sacrum, my left fingertips to the floor on a diagonal, swivel up the back heel and shift the weight coming into a reverse Ardha Chandrasana, Pavrita Ardha Chandrasana. It's a twisted half moon pose. You could here bend the back knee, maybe catch a hold of the foot and begin to straighten your supporting leg. Push the foot out, push the left foot out, opposite hand to foot. And then crossing the left knee behind, bend both knees, dive back with your left toes into your lunge. Wiggle the right foot across, so you can lower the shin down and then lower the back knee, but keep the hips quite high. Pull the front shin and back knee towards one another. So you get that spiraling uplift through the spine. Maybe right hand comes onto the thigh, left hand comes onto the hip. So you've got this zipping up through your pelvic floor. Take the hands to the floor, lift the back knees, slide the leg longer, and release the top of the foot to the earth. You can stay upright here, or make your way down onto your forearms. Or maybe even forehead onto the backs of your hands, pigeon pose. And if this feels too much for you, if it aggravates your knee or ankle in any way, you may want to take your square pose again, but you could possibly take it with your foot against the wall this time. Start to slowly make your way up out of this pigeon. Roll yourself over to the right sit bone and circle this left leg around. Place your left ankle onto the top of your thigh. So it's almost like a double pigeon. I'm not trying to align my bottom shin. with the top shin, however. I'm just letting that come back. And as you can see, I have quite a gap here between my knee and my floor, on the floor. It's not my most favourite pose. And I'm going to twist towards the bent knee. So left thumb behind, back of the right hand, or forearm over the knee. Just gently weighting down that knee. Couple of breaths without too much leverage. Floating out of this. Placing both feet flat on the floor. Reach inside the knees. You can take your yogic toe lock again. First two fingers around the inside of each big toe. Walk the heels back, draw the arm bones into their sockets. And take a frog pose. So inner feet, and I'm wobbling quite a bit here. There is the hazard of rolling back, so just make sure there's no furniture that's going to get in your way if you do a bit of a roll. Cross the ankles, flip over however you can, and step back into a downward facing dog. Maybe take the feet and hands as wide as your mat. Give your hips sway from side to side. Walk your feet hip distance and back to the front of your mat. Take a big inhale, come all the way up to standing, leading with your heart. And as you exhale, fly forward and touch the earth. Lift and lengthen, step back with your right toes. Sweep your left leg up behind you. Bring the left heel to the sit bone, lift the knee up towards the sky. Reverse pigeon. Bringing the knee down, step the foot close to the left thumb, slightly off center. Back heel comes in and down. Place your thumbs underneath your heart. So just lifting up the chest, roll the shoulders around and down, and then come up a little bit higher. So it's a warrior one. Back heel is down. Come forward and twist, angling the elbow towards the big toe, pulling your left hip back in space. A couple of breaths here. And then left hand switches onto the sacrum. The right fingers reach out slightly on a diagonal from your front big toe. Shift the weight over and see if you can raise up your right leg. And turn sideways, because I did it with my back facing me last time. So this is Pavrita Ardha Chandrasana. Maybe you bend both knees, take a hold of the foot. It's opposite hand to foot. And you could then begin to straighten your supporting leg. Maybe push the foot into the hands. And bending both knees, tuck the right knee behind the left. Dive back with the right toes. And heel toe your left foot across the mat until you can lower the shin down and lower the back knee. Keep the back toes tucked. And the pelvis is off the floor. We're quite high here. Come onto the tips of the fingers and pull your front shin and back knee towards one another. This creates a spiraling upward force through the spine, out through the crown of the head. Maybe left hand onto thigh, right hand onto hip. So the legs are working quite strongly here. And then take the hands to the floor. Lift the back knee, get a lot more length in the front of your thigh. And you can come down here maybe onto the forearms or forehead on the back of your hands. If pigeon is not okay, this variation of pigeon for your knee, then you can take the variation on your back, maybe with the foot on the wall. So you have square pose with foot on wall. Couple of breaths here. Start to make your way up out of your pigeon. Roll onto your left sit bone. Circle the right leg around. And place the ankle onto the top of the thigh and knee. So the foot isn't on the floor, it's just hovering. Do a twist towards that front knee, so right thumb behind you, back of the left arm over the knee. And floating out of this. Take the feet to the floor. Reach inside and take a hold of the inside of each big toe. Walk the heels back, your arm bones back into the sockets. And float the heels towards the front corners of your mat. Maybe extending the legs a little bit more. And drawing the limbs back towards your core. So they're feeding back in towards you to give you that stability. Lift the gaze a little bit. And then crossing your ankles, flipping over, step back into a downward facing dog. Last down dog. Stretching out your limbs here. Lower the knees to the floor, flatten the feet. Just circle the hips 3 times each way. And 3 times the other way. Draw your chest through your arms, pick the feet off the floor, so it's like a little upward facing dog. Cross an ankle, doesn't matter which one. And see if you can, without thinking about it too much, just roll over onto your sit bones, making that transition. So if you're at the back of your mat, extend your legs, and with the legs straight, maybe just take the arms out in front of you. You're going to walk on your bottom walks towards the front of the mat, just to reset your pelvis, and twists and pigeon particularly. So just a little bottom walk towards the front of the mat. Helps to reset all this part around the sacroiliac joints. And then palms into prayer, point your feet, you're going to roll down. Rolling down as you exhale. All the way to the earth. Release the arms down by your sides. Find the center seam of your body. And let everything spill outwards. Let the shoulder heads roll around and down. Base of your thumbs turn towards the earth. Little toe edges of your feet flock to the earth. And just take a few moments with that gentle awareness of your breath. And then let go even of any focus with the breath or anything else, just allowing yourself to rest in the self, with the self. So begin your journey back to the physical body. In awareness of the weight and contact of your body on the earth. The space that you occupy in the room. And the breath. When you're ready, slide your feet back to the floor so your knees are bent once again. Bring your right arm onto the floor by your ear, up and over. Draw right knee and then left knee towards your chest. Roll over to the right side so you can rest your head on your right upper arm, just turning the right palm towards the ceiling. And then the left hand wants to come onto the floor by your face. Use your left hand, stretch your left leg out to spiral your way back to a comfortable seat. And bring your hands to your heart in prayer. And bow your head towards the tips of your fingers. And gently open your eyes here. When you're ready, raise your gaze, open your eyes. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. I wish you all a peaceful day and good rest of your week. Hope to see you next Wednesday.